So I was in the process of watching Charleston White's interview on Say Cheese TV. And truthfully, I just watched it a second time because it was just so profound. And it spoke to a lot of the issues that I've, you know, touched upon on my channel for the last 2 years now. But Charleston White was asked about Boosie, giving Kanye West pushback and backlash in terms of Kanye West, choosing to wear a White Lives Matter t-shirt during a fashion show that he had. So they took those pictures and posted it on the internet. Lil Boosie and many others in the Black community were outraged by Kanye West's decision to wear a White Lives Matter t-shirt because it gave the impression that, I'm speaking for a majority of Black people. They have the thinking of, we already know White Lives Matter, so we don't need for you to put it on a t-shirt and tell us again. And I would like to put out a disclaimer and say that I don't know Kanye West's reasons as to why he decided to wear that shirt. Because I think one of the sole purposes of him wearing the t-shirt was so he could cause controversy, right? But I also believe that Kanye West is of the thinking that, and I'm not trying to justify it, but I think he also wore the t-shirt to say the Caucasian race has already profited a lot of money off of Black trauma and Black pain with Black Lives Matter t-shirt. So why we can't do the same and wear a White Lives t-shirt, and the money that I make, we put it back into the community. And as I said before, do I agree with Kanye West wearing a t-shirt? Absolutely not. However, as a person who has freedom, he's entitled to do whatever he pleases to do. He's a grown man. So Charleston White's response to Lil Boosie was, well, Lil Boosie, you killed more Black people and done more harm to Black people than Kanye West has. You hired a 15, 16-year-old hitman who said it was an honor to catch bodies for you. He said it was an honor. So maybe you should confess to some of those murders and you should take some of that time off of his sentence. That way he could come home for what he did for you and you can pay for your sins, pay your debts to society, right? Sean Cotton also brought up the fact that Lil Boosie mentioned how Kanye West should bleach his skin. So Charleston White says, he then countered by saying, well, Lil Boosie, you should bleach your skin, right? You should bleach your skin and you should wear a white hoodie because you've done more harm and you've more people than the Ku Klux Klan. And the music which you rap about, see, your message touched millions of people. Millions, hundreds of millions of people, especially young Black men, are affected by Boosie's music. Charleston White also mentioned, as Lil Boosie said, he said 50% of the young Black men, 50% of my audience, the Black men who listen to my music, which we all know that music is very influential. He said 50% of people who listen to my music are in the graveyard. They're no longer here no more. Their mothers had to bury their sons, had to sit up at night, worry whether or not their children was in the streets or not, and if they was going to get that call. Their mothers had to bury their sons, not knowing where they're going to get the money from because the son didn't have a life insurance policy, right? Mothers got to cry, shed tears, sad, hurting, while Lil Boosie get to be in this mansion and still on Vlad TV promoting the same exact message. But y'all telling Lil Boosie, don't respond, don't say nothing. Want to say nothing that's going to take you to jail. Hold up, y'all defending a criminal? Y'all want to attack Kanye West for wearing a t-shirt, but y'all want to defend a criminal. This is what I responded by saying. If Lil Boosie ain't doing nothing wrong because he says that his family told him if he don't need to respond, don't address Charleston White because if you address him, it could send you back to prison. So I can't say nothing. He got my hands tied behind my back. I can't really say nothing because if I say something, it can incriminate me and I can go to jail. But Lil Boosie, if you're not doing any illegal activities and you're not partaking in any illegal activities, you're no longer in the criminal lifestyle, then you can speak on whatever about Charleston White. You know how to word certain things to say things that's not going to incriminate you, and you can go at Charleston White unless you think that Charleston White can find something and you can go to prison. Never in my life have I ever seen the so-called gangster rappers play the victim role, be scared, talking about they're scared to go to prison. When I was growing up, they ain't care about going to jail. The gangsters, they ain't care about going to jail. They said, jail? Yeah, you think I'm scared to go to jail? I ain't scared of no jail. Now, whether it was true or not, I don't know. But at the same time, they ain't care about going to jail or not. Lil Boosie ain't care about the person he hired to kill people to go to jail. But now he worried about going to jail and people defending him. This man playing a victim role. Nah, bruh, nah. When have the gangsters ever been scared of the snitches? It was the other way around. I was taught growing up, and I ain't even from the streets. I was taught that snitches get stitches. Snitches get stitches. So if y'all seem to believe that Charleston White is a snitch, which we don't have no evidence or no documents that he's ever snitched on people, right? Which I believe Charleston White is an agent for the government, but I'm going to be fair and I'm going to be unbiased. But I got to call both sides out. And Lil Boosie is wrong in this situation. And y'all don't realize that y'all making it worse. This remind me of Omar from The Wire and how he was calling Marlo Stanfield out by name. And he was ruining his reputation. Because y'all don't understand that y'all doing Boosie a disservice by telling him not to respond. It's just like Marlo on The Wire. See, Chris and Snoop, they try to protect him. They try to protect his ego. The Omar was going to ride off to the sunset, but Marlo couldn't let sleeping dogs lie. And it's funny because, if I'm not mistaken, the guy in jail right now currently for Lil Boosie name is Marlo. But it's funny, Omar went out there, he said, I'm going to just go after all your muscle. Whenever I see your muscle, I'm going to just go after your muscle. But the main objective is I'm going to destroy your image. He said, I'm going to ruin your reputation. And he went all throughout the city, going to all of Marlo's stash houses, flushing his drugs down the storm drains, and calling Marlo out by name to step to the streets. And the longer Marlo stayed silent, the more the people in the city said, oh, Marlo supposed to be this tough gangster. He's supposed to be this thug. Marlo is the most feared man in the city. Drug kingpin, drug lord, the most feared man. But here you got Omar every day calling them the B word, calling them out by name, calling them B's, calling them all this. And he looked like a straight coward. So that's what's happening to Lil Boosie. See, Lil Boosie don't have to respond. But what's going to end up happening is, as you're starting to gradually see, there are a lot of people who they're setting their emotions to the side. And they're starting to use logic as they're scrolling down on social media, because a lot of the young black men, they understanding that the game rigged now. They understand that they're being manipulated. See, they're waking up. See, they're not buying into the facade no more that these illusions that these rappers selling is going to get them locked up for the rest of their lives or put them in the graveyard. So a lot of people are smartening up. So a lot of these street guys are going to hear Charleston White's message. And it's going to start to sit in. See, at first it stings, it burns a little bit because you admired Lil Boosie, you was influenced by him. Now that everybody's starting to see that street life is not where it's at, now they're like, man, like Charleston White, he's saying some real stuff. And that's why, the real reason why Lil Boosie won't respond is because Lil Boosie has been trying to overcompensate. He's been trying his hardest to appeal real for so long. Now that Charleston White is showing y'all the cracks and showing y'all that he has been portraying this character for so long, and he's not as real as y'all think he is. Now Lil Boosie is starting, now people are starting to see, oh man, like he sat up there and said, oh yeah, well I'm gonna stand over top of dude if he break in my house. People like, bro, like hold up, like I wouldn't recommend none of y'all do that. He's standing out there arguing with the police, talking that tough talk to the police. You know what Young Jock said? Young Jock said, I wouldn't recommend none of our people do that. See, Lil Boosie got to portray to be this gangster, this character. He's trying to oversell now because he's not as relevant as he once was. See, now everybody's starting to see the facade. And Lil Boosie is stressed. He worried. Because if he acknowledged Charleston White, then that's going to give Charleston White more ammo to expose him. As long as he stay quiet, he felt if he stay quiet, Charleston White could just go away. But Charleston White is exposing them insecurities. He's exposing it. He's pulling that mask off like Scooby-Doo. And now Lil Boosie is worried because you making me not look as gangster as I was. See, he could get away with that. And he calling them out by everybody. And it's like, hold up. You could respond to Lil Nas X. You could go at Dwayne Wade and his son. But you can't go at Charleston White. You scared. You so bold to go at a person who's confident about his sexuality. He's proud about his sexuality. Lil Boosie is doing just as much damage to our community with his music, his message, and nobody's saying nothing about it. They defending it. And the reason that they defend it is because the programming. Y'all are defending a person who is putting poison in our community. Even T.I. T.I. has a whole trap museum. It's called the Trap Music Museum. Do your research. T.I. got an interview talking about it and why he decided to open up that museum. When you walk in, it's a trap museum. It's predominantly black people that attend this museum. It's just like getting in the club. You got lines wrapped around the corner. You could pay $20 to get in, and it's an extra $20 to jump the line. When you walk in, it resembles a trap house, propagating and promoting this message to the black men. The young black men, the young black kids was going in there. When I went in there, they was dancing and having fun at the expense of our people dying, bruh. Are you serious? They in there jamming and dancing the FBG Duck in a criminal lifestyle. When you walk in there, you got a living room. You see a handgun sitting on the table. You see drugs sitting on the table. You see it's a grandmother in there sitting in there laughing and making jokes. On the wall, you see pictures of all the artists and all the musicians and entertainers who are promoting this negative message to the kids. You see, you go in, it's one room, they got bricks of cocaine in there with Young Jeezy and talk about how he was Trapper Dyer and all who the greatest trap rapper, Gucci Mane. You go in another room, they got a specialized room for T.I. and all the guns and all the weapons and all the artillery that he had. Then you go into another room, you go in the kitchen, they even got a kitchen in there where they show you, they got baking soda on the table and they're showing you how to whip up the drugs. And y'all don't think there's a problem in our community? Me and my sister went in there. My sister, she wanted to take pictures, put on her Instagram. I was too disturbed. I said, I don't want to do that. I refuse to do it. You can go in prison. You got little kids, little black kids. They walk inside the prison and they got their hands behind their bars taking pictures. This is the imagery that we promoting to the kids, and y'all supporting Lil Boosie. Y'all telling them to not to respond. Nah, he got an answer to this. T.I. got an answer to this stuff that he did to us, to our community. Because they could continue to hide their hands, but y'all want to be so busy to attack some imaginary people that y'all don't even see. Make it make sense. Y'all going at the wrong people, bruh. And it frustrates me because y'all don't understand. I talk about this all the time. As much as I get upset with Floyd Mayweather about the stuff that he do inside of boxing, I commend him because every second we always laugh and joke at Floyd Mayweather about not being able to read and all these other things, right? And people attack Floyd Mayweather, say he cocky, arrogant, X, Y, and Z. But y'all say nothing to the rappers. And once again, music is like a hypnosis. It gets inside your mind and you hear it over and over and over again. But when you hear Floyd Mayweather, every time you see him, he say, I make smart investments. Whether he making them or not, he say it over and over and over and over, and eventually get in your subconscious. And what that gonna make you do? Okay, I gotta try to make a smart investment. But y'all fine with Lil Boosie going at Kanye West, but you got a problem when Charleston White go at the bully. And y'all saying that Lil Boosie don't need to respond. No, you know what? You're right. He don't need to respond. But it's not going to do nothing but make him look bad. Because as you see, just like The Wire. But guess what? Omar, when he got killed, Marlo's reputation went into shambles. Everybody looked at him as a coward. Ain't nobody believing him no more. Everybody looked at him like a sucker. They ain't respect him no more. He lost respect and credibility in the streets. He ruined his entire reputation because Omar stood in the street every day and said, come dance in the street with the wolves. Marlo was nowhere to be found. But you know what? The difference is this. At least Marlo didn't know. At least Marlo didn't. He was unaware. He didn't know he was being called out by name and getting his drugs flushed down the storm drain. Charleston White is telling you they like bosses move in silence. Now all of a sudden bosses move in silence. Now when it came to everybody else and addressing everybody else, it was not an issue. Dwayne Wade, all these other people, it was not an issue. But now when it comes to Charleston White, oh, don't respond to him. If 50% of the people who listen to Lil Boosie music are in the graveyard, then where is the other 45 to 48%? They're in prison. He got a problem with addressing and talking to Charleston White, but he has no issue sitting up there talking to Vlad TV, and everybody know that Vlad TV has got his interviews has gotten people indicted. So how can you respond to y'all saying he's ignorant, Charleston White ignorant, but y'all not going to say nothing about Vlad TV? Make it make sense.